Hi guys! Welcome to another segment of our Waifu Watch podcast. Today we are talking about something very near and dear to my heart, and that is the sci-fi genre.
Yeah!
I am very excited to discuss this with you guys. So I have a lot of questions, and then I'll go on a little spiel as well, like we usually do. But we'll start out with a question. So, how would you guys define the science fiction genre?
Stuff that doesn't happen normally.
Precisely. I think that's spot on. Usually when I think sci-fi, I think robots, which I know is mecha, but mecha seems to be really tied into a lot of sci-fi. Experiments, like human experiments. And like just real sketchy. Sketchy shit going down behind the scenes.
True. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I have unintentionally watched a lot more sci-fi anime than I thought, and I just started thinking of shows I watched. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's sci-fi, that's sci-fi, that's sci-fi. Yeah, give me, sketchy stuff where experiments and there's lots of like not aliens but like time travel and just like weird supernatural stuff too. So it's like, I don't know, it's so many things and it's all so good.
I don't like sci-fi actually.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like sci-fi?
I don't.
Interesting.
I don't.
What don't you like about it?
I don't like the usually from most of the sci-fis, I don't really like the color scheme that comes with a lot of sci-fi animes. I'm very much a coho person. The outfits are kind of cool, but usually more mecha-ish. It's just not my I don't like the over-explanation of the sciencey stuff. There's the lack, there's some romance ones, but the lack of romance, the lack of color, I feel like the plot is just, I'm bored. I'm just like, all right. It like reminds me of Star Trek. And I like Star Trek either.
You're like, this is too much gray.
Too much gray, black,
people keep talking at
colors.
me.
Where's the spice?
Spice is like people's arms getting ripped off by monsters and stuff. Like,
but that's so boring. That's like predictable. I feel like sci-fi animes just get so predictable.
You're gonna be walking around in a zombie apocalypse, just like, oh, when's something gonna happen?
I don't watch zombie things. Zombies scare me for some strange reason.
It's fair.
I don't know. When someone says sci-fi, I automatically think outer space.
Yes.
But like, more that I think about it, it does include like time travel and human experiments and government secrets and things like that. So.
It's like the border of conspiracy theory. Of like, because so much of it is like, yeah, the government's doing this, and you're like, are they? Like, could that actually happen? It's like just enough to get your tinfoil hat on a little bit.
Ooh. Okay, small tangent. Small, eensy little tangent. Have you guys been following the monolith story?
Yes, it's gone now.
No.
Yeah, and did you hear about the one that popped up in Romania?
No.
Yes,
I just saw the one in
an
Utah.
identical one was just found on like a mountainside in Romania. Yeah, it's like a statue that they found in the middle of Utah, Mana. And it's like this steel like rod pillar thing, and then it was like disassembled by the government in Area 51, or it just mysteriously disappeared, and then not even a couple of days later, there's one in Romania that's exactly the same.
Crazy.
So it's a rock that's popping up everywhere.
It's like a statue, but it's just popping up.
Yes.
Nobody knows why. Purpose is.
A lot of people think it's like a Banksy something, and I'm like, I don't know. Like that doesn't.
It's obviously aliens.
I saw someone tweet, when is this marketing campaign going to end?
It is. It's just gonna be an ad for like Apple. That's just like we can get anywhere faster than anyone. Like
anywhere instantly with the new iPhone 13.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, that's.
But yeah, sorry about the
It's
hey, that's sci-fi.
Yeah, it's sci-fi. That could be the start of a sci-fi show or a sci-fi movie.
It could really.
I would.
That sounds like it does. It sounds like the beginning of like a Michael Bay movie.
I mean, it reminds me of Arrival. Have you seen that movie?
Yes. Oh, I love that movie.
It reminds me of Arrival. It's with like Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. It's an alien movie. Highly recommend. Very good. Sci-fi movie, obviously. So, but it reminds me of that because it wasn't like statues, but they had these like things and that started appearing in the sky, and it appeared one place and then appeared in other places. So it reminds me of that.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that doesn't happen. What happens in
2020 would be the year.
But yeah, of all years, why would aliens choose to come this year?
Right.
They're like their defenses are low. Everyone's sad. No one's gonna care. Like we'll just swoop in. Like
well, it's like whenever they found that tomb with all of those like mummies and sarcophagus.
Yeah, I remember that.
And everybody on the internet was like, no, put it back. We can't deal with it this year. Just put them back.
Well, that's like, because this was also the year that like the military released that footage of them like shooting down that unidentified like flying object. Like it was a UFO.
Why would you shoot it down though? That's like, wouldn't you want to figure out
they have to. That's like protocol. Is they'll like send enough transmissions. Be like, if you don't land, like we're gonna have to like engage and like
we're gonna have to take it down ourselves.
But yeah, and so they released it, and everyone was just like, like 2020, like
that doesn't surprise me. Like, show me what was inside the aircraft.
Yeah, I want to know what it is. The heck, it could be a little drone for all we know.
It probably was just a drone.
Probably was just a drone.
But maybe no, I'm just kidding.
Maybe it was aliens. Who knows?
Aliens.
So my second question is, how important would you say the science fiction genre is to anime in general, or how does it influence anime?
I feel like it's in a lot more stuff than we realize.
I think
because like
in somehow.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it loosely, like Code Geass is sci-fi. Like
it is sci-fi.
It's definitely like there's like
sci-fi.
Yeah,
I can see some elements.
Yeah, because I mean, like Geass, that's kind of like, you know, the
magical
power. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of stuff that goes on in there that's like, yeah, kind of sci-fi adjacent. I mean, there's a cyborg that's pretty sci-fi.
That's fair.
A very handsome cyborg, but like, and just like how I was thinking, like there's a lot of shows that I've watched. I'm like, oh yeah, like it presents itself as like, you know, maybe it's like slice of life, but then there's like a sci-fi element to it or something. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's in a lot more stuff than we realize, which is interesting because then that means it's like a lot more popular than I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
I think kind of what Mana said before, that it appears in like mechas and like spaceships that can transform robots, things like that. I think it really pronounces itself in the mecha genre.
Oh, and kaiju. How could we forget kaiju being sci-fi?
Oh, yeah.
Gojira. We have big Godzilla, like big monsters and
kaiju.
Yeah.
Mm.
I've heard of it.
Kaiju is Japanese for like large monster, but
okay,
like in Pacific Rim and Godzilla.
My dad loved Godzilla.
Like that.
The Godzilla like 3-part movie anime that's on Netflix is so good.
Is it? Oh,
highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it.
I think I want to watch that. It sounds good.
It's very good.
Mm-hmm. Maybe possible.
Yeah, I don't know. All the ones from someone that just started watching, it seems like everyone that I've seen is at least like sci-fi influence.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's just because of the popularity of the ones that we're watching, or if it's just, you know, something
Where's the line for supernatural and sci-fi? Where is that?
Well, that's actually one of my questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I didn't say that. Carry on.
So when doing like research, it's like what constitutes a sci-fi. So what would you say the difference is between the sci-fi genre and just an all-out fantasy genre?
Oh.
I think sci-fi has to have some element of like technological advances to it.
Okay.
And that's the reason why these crazy things are happening, is because like science has gotten so good, or like whatever, you know, innovation has gotten so crazy that it's like, you know, oh, we can live forever now. Like stuff like that's very sci-fi, but fantasy, I think, doesn't necessarily have to be explained by anything. It's just kind of like,
it's just fantasy.
It just is. Yeah. It's just, this is the world you live in and deal with it. Like,
yeah, pretty much. I think.
Yeah. That's a great explanation.
Oh, thank you.
I also think what Danielle said, what there are like scientific, is that like have pushed science so far that it gives us these giant unprecedented results. But I also think a big thing that sci-fi is relevant. The difference between supernatural and sci-fi is the presence of the human race. Science is a human created thing, so I think usually animes tend to have a lot more of a human presence if they're sci-fi based compared to supernatural, which has different breeds and different like types and races and things like that.
That's a good point.
Humans, yay. Yes, that's my opinion.
Do you have anything to add, Annie?
No, I mean, Mana and Danielle pretty much covered all the things I wanted to say. So.
Well, I think science fiction focuses on science, basically what you guys said, whether it be real and imagined, and how that can impact or influence society in general and individual people. There also, I've noticed, at least with the sci-fi, not just anime, but also live action type of shows, there seems to be a general anxiety toward advancing technology and exploring what the future will look like with technology continually advancing with no barriers, which I think is super interesting.
It's a good point. It's never good, the things that happen in sci-fi. It's
it's this general anxiety of like if things go too far, at least.
Yeah. Like AI or any of that kind of stuff. Yeah. Everyone starts getting nervous.
Why can't humans just like stop? Just chill for a second. Just chill. Just when it gets too far, why can't we just be like, okay, let's just back up?
Yeah, that's because like that's like against human nature though. Is like, I mean, like we're curious, like we want to know, like, you know, all the things. Which as an Enneagram type 5, I feel that really hard because I just want to learn all the things.
Which is like, I think it's super cool. Like, I like sci-fi, so it's just like I'm interested in like time travel and like parallel worlds and all that jazz. But it's most of the time shows focus, which they do have to have like conflict and everything. But to me, they focus on like the what if this happens, like what if it gets in the wrong hands of the wrong people, which is very interesting to me. I think it's because people are scared that it'll get to the point where we can't control it anymore.
I think we definitely can't get to that point. I definitely think that will.
Have you guys seen that video of Jeff Bezos, like, and he's like, because Amazon, who is going to rule the world someday, like has, I don't know why he was messing with like some AI stuff, and he had the like the glove things on where you could, you know, like manipulate and like the thing would move how you wanted it. And he lets out the most like evil supervillain laugh I've ever heard, like organically come from a human. Because it's like it starts responding to like what he's doing and learning. And he's just like, ha 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 ha. And everyone's like,
like, take it away.
What? Like, hold on. Like, no. Like, this man already has too much power. Like,
no.
It was so funny.
Honestly, I was talking to my roommate about this. I was like, she was like, you know, it'd be so cool if we could find cures for cancer and stuff like that. I was like, that would be awesome. But also, I find that not all of the bad things, obviously, but a lot of the bad things in the world come from the people in power. And it's like, okay, well, what about the day that like the people in power, because I feel like we're gonna get these cool inventions, things like that, and the people in power are gonna use it to do bad things, and it's gonna ruin it for everybody else. It's gonna ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah, I think that's more of a problem with like our specific government, maybe than like other places. Not to get too like too real, but it's like
it's definitely us.
I think that comes from the nature of like capitalism, of just being like, if we can monetize this thing, we're going to.
Exactly. It's always going to be monetized. So like,
yeah, so it's like the people who have the money are going to control it because that's like the society that we live in.
Exactly. So like with space travel, we're seeing it already with like SpaceX or whatever.
Or Space Force or whatever.
Oh yeah, have you guys seen that show? I haven't yet.
No.
What is it?
Oh my gosh, it's like who's
Steve
the star
Carell.
Steve Carell. Yeah.
Is it a people show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
really funny.
If NASA was like militarized, but like in the hands of
because that's like
who
what
can't do their job very well.
Yeah, because I mean that's like what like Donald Trump tried to like, he wanted like Space Force is like the initiative, and so they made a sitcom out of it, and
R.I.P.
But yeah, it's because I don't know why that needs to be a thing, but I'm not the president, but neither is he soon. Sorry.
Yeah.
R.I.H. K.M.
And then just some of the things that are explored in science fiction that I wanted to go over. Time travel, which is super fun. Space travel, also fun. Although I think about space travel a lot, and I always get scared that I'm just going to get like, I probably will never space travel, but I'd always be scared that I'd get like stuck in space, and it's like a fear of mine. Like I'll be outside of like the spaceship, and I'll just be stuck in space, like floating through space alone.
Well, yeah, because isn't that what happened in Gravity?
Yes, I think.
Like, because they
saw
were
it
like,
once, so I don't really
and
What's
it's
Gravity?
like, it's a space movie.
Sandra Bullock.
And George Clooney, I think.
And George Clooney,
yeah.
And those people are
that would be terrifying. That would be a horrible way to die. To just float until you die. Like,
that one JoJo character died.
Gives me
Cars. That's his name.
It's been so long.
Cars got frozen in space.
My brother just
did he? I'm convinced he's coming back.
I don't think he's coming back.
Right, we can add JoJo into the tags on this one. We'll get more views.
Yeah. We'll be like,
are we supposed to be saying?
Did that guy never like comment?
He never commented on mine. And I'm convinced he's scared of me.
That man is, I'm like, well, I don't.
Ask COVID. Like,
would you like a cookie?
Oh, I will say, shout out. There were a couple of our viewers. Someone got really mad in the comments in one of our videos because like I look through these things, and they were like, you guys are fooling yourselves if you think that like breaking off into groups is gonna stop you guys from getting COVID, and you guys should just film all together. Like, this is stupid. Like, you're not actually doing anything to stop it. So I'm unsubscribing. And so there were like 5 people in the comments who were like, "Okay, bye." And I was like,
"Yay!
Thank you guys." Like,
standing up for us. We appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
That's so cute.
It made me happy. So thank you, friends. We appreciate
you. And then robots is another thing explored.
Yeah, the robots.
And parallel universes, aliens, alternate histories, utopias, dystopias. They're all things that I find very, very interesting. Because to me, science fiction, it can be such a different world that they're in, but it's interesting that we can find ourselves in it. And I think it's even more interesting if you can see that becoming a thing like in the future, because it's like, how long would it take to get there, and what would happen for us to possibly get there? So
yeah, scientists, when are you going to give us hoverboards? I was promised that like in the 90s. and
Yes.
I'm still waiting.
I just want a small caramel frappe. So good.
You want a small comment?
I was like, where's this going? I'm like, oh. Not related at all.
No, sorry, I had to say
no,
it.
no,
I
it's
got
okay.
Real sad.
I was
about
just
it
like
just
small, and I was like small, like jetpack, and like so my brain was trying to like fill in the blanks, and I was
now.
way
I can
off.
fly without jetpacks, like not in real life, but like in my dream. I've trained myself. I've trained myself over enough dream span times to literally what I think the sensation of what it'd feel like to sprout wings and fly, because I'm a lucid dreamer. I've had enough lucid dreams to train myself how to fly. So when I lucid dream, I can on command pop wings out and fly, and it's so cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Sometimes I smash into stuff because I'm so
Whenever I try and fly in dreams, I always like jump rather than fly. So I'm like bouncing like this, like a ball.
Oh, like kind of like gravity, like less gravity, like buoyant.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I've
rather
done some
than
of
like
that too.
actually flying through the air, like I have to have a land point and then start and stop again.
Mine's usually just straight up like levitating. Like I can just like just
Oh.
That's
like a
I don't
ghost.
think I've ever flown in a dream.
Oh really?
What?
No.
My heart.
Not that I remember anyway.
Fall asleep
I've
to something.
fallen. I
that-
haven't flown.
Oh, those are the worst.
Yeah,
like,
those suck.
because then you wake up like, like you
Worse.
maybe died, and then yeah,
Maybe, probably.
not great.
In a different dimension.
Yeah.
Also, scientists, when's teleportation gonna be a thing? I
That
shouldn't
would be
have.
great.
I shouldn't have to get on a plane for 12 hours to go anywhere except the moon. Like
Oh,
the fact that
the
air
moon.
travel hasn't advanced like far enough along.
For so long. It's been
Well, so
True,
funny,
it's pretty
actually, there is a person I know who works at a very like top secret government job.
top secret.
And he said that he's like, oh no, it's there to like fly way faster, and like, but it's just like the government just hasn't like
Yeah.
yet.
Why not?
I'm gonna keep my secret.
I don't know if they're still like, I don't know, reserving it for them. I don't know.
Reserving
It's
it
like,
for the rich.
give me fast planes. Like
Give me zoom zoom. Come on, guys.
Zoom zoom. Zoom zoom through the sky.
Yep.
Can we just have a moment for Xenon?
That.
the Disney
Zoom,
Disney
zoom,
show?
zoom, make my heart go boom, boom. Don't you guys know that from the 90s?
Is it
I didn't watch
Disney Channel
Xenon.
movie?
I was not raised.
It's a
with
Disney. It's a Disney
Okay.
Channel original.
That's what I
movie.
thought. I don't remember it.
I
very
didn't
well,
watch
though,
that
'cause I was
one.
super, super duper young. I feel like.
I had cable, so I had PBS.
He
Kids.
had like silver little spiked gelled hair, and he was like a super space station pop star.
What?
No.
He was my dreamboat when I was like 7.
That's cute. That's real cute.
Adorable.
But whenever somebody says zoom, 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 I always think of his song.
Okay.
That makes me think of the PBS kids show Zoom, because
Oh,
that
no.
was their little theme song was also Zoom.
Oh yeah, it was Zoom.
Yeah.
Who's
So,
dead?
Reminds me of Pitch Perfect as well.
So we just have associations all over the
Yeah,
place.
all
for
over
that
the
phrase.
place.
Okay, but question. But you know what Cubo is? Is that just me?
What?
That's just me. Okay, Cubo was this little satellite channel that like played, like Jane and the Dragon was on Cubo. Again, Alfred the Hedgehog was on. Nobody knows Cubo.
That sounds like a Sonic OC, like Alfred the Hedgehog. Like if you
He's a
Google that, like
He's a detective.
even better.
He's so cute. I love Alfred.
I don't think I've ever
But
heard
yeah,
of it.
also.
No,
missing
that absolutely sounds fake. I believe you, but it sounds fake.
out. Oh,
Oh my
he's a
god.
detective. Oh my goodness.
Good for is that so maybe it's like a Wishbone knockoff. More so then. Did nobody watch Wishbone?
No.
The little pup who goes through time to solve mysteries?
No.
What?
What show was it on?
I think it was like PBS.
PBS. Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
watch PBS that much.
No, but I did watch Rough Men.
Oh, I remember that one. That was when I was just getting out of PBS. Because you are a little bit younger than me, so
Just a little.
Just a
baby.
Baby.
All right.
Oh, that explains why nobody knows about mine is because I'm old.
No, I fully no, because Annie, you're not that much older than me, and so I remember Xenon. I just remember seeing it and being like, I have no interest in this.
I remember liking it. I just don't remember the plot that much. Okay.
That goes for most Disney Channel original movies.
Yeah. Besides High School Musical, because that had a big impact on me for some reason.
Oh, really?
High School Musical 2 was the best.
That was great. That's the one with the song Fabulous.
Yeah.
Sharpay? Oh, yeah. That's my jam right there. I used to have a Barbie doll with the microphone up to Sharpay's mouth. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Next question.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a question. I'm just still going on my rant. But in my very limited experience with anime, I think anime has a very big oh my god, I think science fiction has a very big impact on anime in general. And I think it can be seen as early as its beginnings. And I think Astro Boy is the greatest example.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Astro Boy is the OG.
Yes. It was released in 1963 on New Year's Day. I know we've talked about this before, but I'm still going to give the little spiel again. It focuses on a robotic named Adam. That was created by his creator to be in likeness of his deceased son. So we already got some trauma there.
Wow, that's sad. I didn't realize that was the plot of Astro Boy.
Yes. At least the 1963 version. I know it was rebooted.
Jeez.
This was the first one. But yeah, some trauma and some messed up stuff. However, Adam did not grow, so the scientist was very sad with that and just sold him to the circus.
Jeez, that's even worse.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, I do not remember that part.
Okay.
Yikes.
This is the OG one, so if you watched the newer one, that's probably why you don't remember. But which I don't know if the new one, I don't know how similar it is, but I'm assuming it's kind of sort of different. And not long after that, the scientist was fired and a new one was hired. The new scientist saw that Adam was more advanced than the other robotics in the circus and released him. And this scientist treated the robotics more as beings with actual feelings, when the first scientist saw them as slaves more so. Mm-hmm. Which I think is very interesting, because that's very, very still relevant today.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Shocking for the early 60s to already be that concerned with like AI type stuff. Like,
It's crazy. And like treating robots like humans.
Like people.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
But
this was first released from Japan's first TV animation studio, Mushi Productions, organized by Osamu Tezuka. Is that how you pronounce it? Osamu Tezuka. And this was so popular that more TV animation studios were in production, and Toei Animation opened up a TV division by the end of 1963. So I think at least TV animation has its roots in sci-fi.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's very, very important. So
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
my proof, I guess, that science fiction. Like I'm writing an essay that I have to back up with proof. Yeah. I just think it's interesting.
You're just fighting off the commenters who are like, "Where's your proof?" Like,
I know. It's just my opinion, and like, I will admit I have very little knowledge of anime, but everything from JoJo, I think there's a little bit of a sci-fi influence there as well.
Oh yeah.
Geass. I watched Cowboy Bebop. I also watched
Cowboy Bebop's very sci-fi.
So good.
You watch Erased?
Yes, I did. Very, very good. Highly recommend. And
Erased.
You know, I just want to say I knew it. You should know what I'm talking about. I knew it. Erased.
Yep. Yep. Oh, so good. It's so good.
It is really good. It's not giving anything away.
It's
but
sci-fi mystery drama slice of life. It's
traveling in time.
Yep, it's.
But is the romance?
Not really. It's not focused on that, but that's nice.
No, it's more about like character relationships. So more like friendship type stuff than like, oh, I'm in love with someone.
Why do you have to say it in that voice?
Because I'm old and jaded, and I'm sick of all of it.
I think it's so funny that you call yourself. I'll just wait till you're actually old and look back at your younger self and be like, "Ha!"
Oh no, I know. I mean, people are like, "Oh, you're still so young." And I'm like, then why do I feel so old? But
capitalism.
It's because I'm creeping up on 30, and that gives me a lot of anxiety.
And so,
I hear it gets better after 30.
Get yelled at again.
I hear from older people it gets better, and I hear from younger people that it just gets worse.
Gosh. All right. Let's go on to the next question. What do you like about the sci-fi genre and why?
Science. I was like, fun fact about me, I was like convinced I was going to be a scientist when I was a kid. Like that was like one of baby Danielle's many career aspirations is like I asked for like a microscope for Christmas because I wanted to be able to like look at stuff. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was really cool. And little did I know that women in science really is not so much a thing. And so I should have done it. But like technological like advances and stuff, I think is super fascinating of like, hey, look, we programmed this thing to do this thing. And, it's really fast or like, I just think that's really cool. And like anything with like medicine and being able to like cure stuff or like, oh, we found this gene and it does this and like all of that's just like super crazy interesting to me. And space is super interesting too. And so I like the stuff where it's like I don't know if we're ever going to know an answer for it because I just think that's really cool. And so anything where it's like it's interesting to think because it is sci-fi is like almost always bad of like, what if this and it's like terrible. Like I don't know if any of you guys played BioShock, but that's like a sci-fi where it's like your plane crashes and you find this like what was at one time a utopian society, but it's essentially been abandoned because it's very scary because it's anytime when you start a game and you have to adjust the slider for it's like make it so the text on the screen is just barely visible. I'm like, oh, so you want it to be dark and spooky but it's essentially like they created these like genetic modifier things where it's like you inject yourself and like you have like more life or like you can shoot fire out of your hand and stuff like that. But then it's like they didn't realize it was going to be like crazy addicting. And so the society like collapsed because people started like killing each other because they wanted these like genetic like modifications. So of course like everyone who's still there is like this horrifying amalgamation of like either they basically look like junkies or like they're like mutated. And it's like it's a phenomenal game. If you don't like scary games, don't play it because it's very scary. But it's like I don't know. I just think learning about that kind of stuff of like this happened and then bad thing happened. It's like I like to fill in the blanks on that. And, I think it's so cool. But yeah. Anyway.
I don't really like sci-fi, so I don't really know.
You can find one thing, Mana. You can talk about romance, you can talk about sci-fi.
Surely there's like a colorful alien romance anime. That has to exist.
I like how close it is to Supernatural. That's it.
Okay.
Like Supernatural, like the show or like the genre?
The genre.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't really
I think she froze.
Oh no.
She's frozen.
On a really funny face.
Mana.
That's amazing.
She looks like a pufferfish.
Oh my gosh. It never fails.
I love you, Mana.
I want that to be on screen for as long as possible.
Yeah. I really like sci-fi because it asks the big questions, and I really like big questions. I hate big questions, but I also really like them.
Yeah.
I hate big questions because they give you like existential crisis anxiety.
Yep.
But like why do I exist kind of thing, which really sucks. But also asking the questions like, is this real? Like Inception is my favorite movie of all time.
So
I love Inception.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not.
We all agree
dream.
the top fell, right? We're all on that same page.
What fell?
Heck yeah.
That the top fell at the end of the movie.
Well, that's what's supposed to happen.
I think it did.
Because it wobbled. It didn't do that when we were in the dream. It just kept spinning, and then at the end it wobbled. And it only did that when it was in real life.
But you don't know, so it's like
I know.
I'm wondering.
Danielle believes something, and she fell stick to it.
Yeah. Well, because it's like, okay, so I also have a really funny story about that movie. It's short, but so my brother saw Inception first, and he's a really big Christopher Nolan fan and really likes Leonardo DiCaprio. And so he's like, we got to go see this movie. Like, he told our family, he was like, we have to go see it. It's amazing. Like, you're going to love it. And he's really bad about like overhyping movies that he really, really likes. And I thought it was fine. Like, I was like, okay, whatever. But my mom hates ambiguous endings. So we get to the so we get to the end of the movie, and he spins you see the top spinning, and he's like off with his wife and kids, and it like wavers and that keeps spinning, and then the screen goes to black. And so the movie theater is like dead silent, right? Because everyone's just like, wow, what just happened?
Wow.
And then all of a sudden in the like dead quiet, my mom just goes, what the heck? And she has never forgiven my brother for that, because she's like, I hate movies that end like that, and like there's not like a clear like this is what happened. And
I love ambiguous endings and things.
I do too.
And
they don't bother me
a lot,
because I like to, as a former English major, I like to like debate things, and I'm like, give me enough time and like and give me enough pages and I'll convince you of my point. Like
I feel like because of that, it can mean different things to different people, and I feel like you're reaching more of an audience with that.
Yeah, I agree.
But as for like the science part, I feel like it's a bunch of stuff that I don't understand.
It's true, yeah.
Because science was like my least favorite subject in school. So I never paid attention to anything. I just doodled in my notebook.
I really liked like when I had to take like physical science. Like, I guess when you're like younger, it's like everything's kind of like physical science, but like I didn't really like bio that much because like I don't know, it was just really boring to me. And I don't like dissecting things. I was super gross.
I hated dissecting. I made my partner do it.
That's what, we were in like groups of 4, and so I'm like, I will take all the notes, and I'm like, you boys can take the scalpels and stab each other, and I don't really care as long as I get an A. Because the frog they gave us was like this big. It was huge, and I was like, I'm not touching that, and the whole room smells like formaldehyde, and it was gross. But I would have liked chemistry, but I was just really bad at chemistry.
I was bad at chemistry too. I hated it.
Same.
Physics.
Balancing chemical equations, I still don't know how to do it. Can't do
I really
it.
like physics.
But when we got to set stuff on fire, that was really cool. Like we got to burn magnesium, and it burns like really, really bright. And then after the fact, that's when my professor said, oh, you might not want to look directly at that. And I was like, too late. I may have burned a hole in my retinas, but it's fine. But yeah, and then what else? Oh, I had to take human anatomy, which was whatever. I learned so many bones and muscles, and all of that information just immediately got expelled from my brain. and I had to take physics, which I was surprisingly good at. But I loved science when I was a kid, and then science got hard, and then I hated science. Because I was like, I just want to look at stuff under a microscope and burn stuff, and I'm like, I don't care about the math part of it. And then I learned that science was just math in disguise, and then I gave up on it.
It's good. Oh no, Danielle froze. Oh, there we go. Frozen now.
To me, I like the sci-fi genre because it explores the impossible with like a line of possibility, because it's like, this is how it could happen.
Right.
And everything. So
that's why it's like scary but kind of cool, because it's so many like what ifs, where it's like, what if that actually happened? And there's another game that I really wanted to play, and it was called Detroit Become Human. And it's
I've heard of that.
It's like you make choices in the game, and that affects like your outcome of like what ending you get, and there's like 20 different endings or something crazy like that. But it's essentially that it's like cyborgs, or like, you know, like humanoid, like AI is like a thing, and you can go and like buy like a it looks like a human, but it's like an android, and you know, they can essentially be like your servant or whatever, and you play as the like android, and you see how like terrible humans are and stuff, and it's like, you know, what if, you know, would that actually happen? And like, you make all these choices, and it's like, do you have autonomy as this like, you know, thing that's not a human? And you know, I played a little bit of it, and it was super interesting, and I really want to revisit it. But I like stuff like that, where it's like, because I think humans would be pretty terrible to robots, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have a track record of being nice to things we don't understand.
No. I mean, we use them for everything now, so if they were autonomous, it would be like, and we don't pay them, so.
Yeah. That would be great.
So what do you find frustrating about the sci-fi genre, or what don't you like about it?
Oh, Mana, this one's for you.
Yeah.
I just, you know, like I said earlier, the elements of the talking, there's just too much talking. Like, there's action and there's like fighting sequences and stuff, but it gets a little predictable. The color tones aren't very poppin'. It's all usually very metallic-y, very metal-like and metallic-y. And with like, sometimes they would have the robots. It's just the robots don't have transformation sequences. They just do a pew, 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 and it's like, let's fight. And it's just, I don't know. It's not enough for me. It's just not stimulating enough for me. My brain takes a lot of stimuli, and sci-fi just doesn't cut it.
I do think that, kind of on that same note, the barrier for entry for sci-fi is sometimes higher, because for some of it, it's like, it's expected you have an understanding of the world that they live in before you start watching it. And if you don't want to take the time to like, you know, invest in that, then it can be like, like, I don't get this. Or counterpoint, they do like over explain everything to you, and you're like, okay, get it. Like, this is what's happening. Like, we don't like show, don't tell, you know? And so I can see how that would be kind of like annoying, but the color scheme doesn't bother me because I wear black and gray a lot. This isn't a great example of being in tie-dye, but my whole life is like black, white, and gray. So
sometimes like on sci-fi, I know this is really nitpicky, but like kind of what it's just the Transformer movies hurt my eyes.
I love Transformers.
It's just the metallic like little like bits are just they make my brain hurt. And I know it's super specific, but like I can't. I'm sorry, Shia LaBeouf.
I will stan the first Transformers movie like really hard, because I think the rest of the movies are bad. I think the first one was great for the time, because that was like 2008 or something ridiculous. But like that was peak Shia LaBeouf. And Megan Fox, and they were cute together, and Optimus Prime is amazing, and Megatron looked super cool, and I it was good.
True, the first one was good.
Yeah, the first one was good. The rest of them are terrible. Don't watch them. They don't exist.
Okay.
Okay, random question that just popped in my head because we were talking about Michael Bay movies. Is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sci-fi?
Yes.
Okay. That
Yes,
seems like such
absolutely.
a strange, like, I guess it is. I guess they were like the mutagen.
Weren't they,
Yeah, it's got
like,
that element
It is,
of like
okay.
man,
Yeah.
scientific thing.
That's just like, I wouldn't have associated as sci-fi because it's so like heavily like ninja influenced. But yeah, there's like the Krang. We have aliens. Yeah, okay. I also really enjoyed the live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. So.
Oh my gosh,
Never
yes.
seen
The
it.
ones on Laserdisc? Heck yeah. No, Mana, you must know what a Laserdisc is. Please tell me you do. I'm
like
not
pre
old.
VHS.
Of course. Okay. I know that. I know what
VHS.
that is.
Yeah, Laserdisc is older than VHS.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know
is.
what a laser disc
Is
is.
Laserdisc those things that you push to the side and they have that tiny the metal thing and you swipe it back and forth for fun?
Nope.
No.
It's like
Okay.
a record player, but for DVDs.
Yeah, it was like a bigger DVD player.
And you had to like flip the disc halfway through the movie.
Nope.
That was the
I was
best.
slightly too young for that, I think.
It
That's
was
fair.
like right on the tail end of
Okay.
like
Because I only remember
growing up,
VHS.
so
Mm.
it was a pretty retro thing. But
But I would agree with you guys. My frustrations with it lie in the same realm as you guys, because I think there is a very fine line of like not explaining anything at all and then over explaining things.
Mm-hmm.
And then over explaining is always bad.
Yeah.
Because if you're sitting there and you're thinking, why am I hearing all this stuff when I already get it, then
Mm-hmm.
the writing and the story team, I feel like, just don't know how to execute their points very well.
Right.
With not explaining at all, I think it can work if like this story, like with Cowboy Bebop, it wasn't really explained that much how space travel came to be and how we can just go from gate to different planets and everything, which was fine for that. With other things, I don't think it would be fine if it was more actually like science focused.
Right.
So I think it depends to me.
Yeah, I think so much of it is like the universe that's established, because with Cowboy Bebop, it's like, it's pretty akin to like things that we're very familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it doesn't seem so out there, like, you know what I mean? Just because it gets compared to like Star Wars a lot of like how the universe works and stuff. And so I think because that's so popular, it's like our brain is like, okay, yeah, like space travel. But yeah, I think once we start getting into like more sciencey stuff that where like less people have an understanding of it, it's a lot harder to be like, yeah, just go with it, because then it's like, no, hold on.
Science is science, and then like there's nothing else like science. It's just very individualistic.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
I think this is interesting. Do you prefer sci-fi grounded in real life or completely out of this world?
Ooh.
Wait. Say it again. Say it again.
You prefer sci-fi grounded in real life or completely out of this world? So like grounded in real life, I'll give an example. Have you guys seen Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind?
Oh, that movie's so good.
Okay. So I'll explain it really, really quickly. I know it's not anime.
It's so
but
sad.
I really just watched it. Everything is like completely normal, except you can erase like relationships from your brain. So like if you had a really bad breakup with someone, you can erase that person from your brain.
wow.
So that's what I would consider something grounded in real life. Just that one thing is different, but everything else is almost scarily the same.
Mm-hmm.
So
that movie is so good.
mm-hmm.
It's like peak serious Jim Carrey acting.
Yeah.
He's such a good serious actor, and he doesn't get enough credit for it. But
No.
anyway, yeah, I like both because Yeah, I like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where it's like that one element where it's like, oh, this could drastically change everyone's lives, even though it's just like one little thing that's different. Or even like, have any of you guys seen The Truman Show, which is also a sci-fi Jim Carrey movie?
Yeah.
Of like, essentially, without spoiling things, I mean, I guess the plot is kind of a spoiler.
Yeah.
So
I think you're good.
Yeah, just if you don't plan on watching it, then I'll spoil it. But spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the Truman movie and wants to watch it. Essentially, he was born on like a set where it's like an completely enclosed environment that is running as like a television show that's being live. So from his birth to essentially whenever he would die, he lives inside this bubble and his life has been like broadcast around the world forever. Wow. And so it's like, but it's big enough, and because he was raised in it, like no, like everyone else knows that it's like a set and that it's like a show, and so he's like the only one who's not in on it, and he keeps trying to like uncover like why is this happening, and and it's really, really interesting, and so I highly recommend it. But there's stuff like that where it's like, yeah, it's so completely like out of the ordinary that's like, yeah, something like that couldn't happen, but like it's really interesting. Or any of the super like sciencey stuff, like what's that movie called, like The Island? I don't know if you guys saw that, where that was like and then there was so that was like the super sci-fi one, and then essentially there was also a book called Never Let Me Go that was like a quote unquote like slice of life with the same plot. Ooh. Where people are essentially like bred to like for their organs, so then rich Ooh. People can like buy them, and then it's like they buy their organs, and so it's like then they're just like the surrogate for if your kidney fails, it's like okay, we're gonna pull this person and you get their kidney. So super fat. Like I did not like The Island. I didn't think it was a good movie. My brother loved it, but I really like Never Let Me Go because it was a lot more like of the like emotional aspect of it, and it was still sci-fi, but yeah. I'll probably watch if it's sci-fi, like I would probably give it like at least a fighting chance, and just because I like science.
And I science.
What about Annie and Mana, grounded in real life or completely out of this world?
I mean, like Danielle said, there's a nice mix of both, but I do prefer kind of out of this world because I don't know, humans are kind of boring. It's cool to do something else and like spice it up. I feel like if you have too many real life elements in it, it kind of takes away from, I don't know, I don't want to say the escapism of the show, but just like I feel like it takes away from the plot because we're surrounded by humans all the time, and if there's too much interaction, it's too familiar.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I like Out of This World because you get a lot of story world building. Like Star Wars, they have its own like
universe.
I don't know. Yeah. Star Trek has its own universe, so I like its own,
where it's like
world
the rules
building kind of thing.
That. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, see, I'm torn. I like both too, but I feel like I'm more drawn to grounded in real life because I like to see how one little change will impact society or whatever. I think it's very, very interesting.
I think it's easier to like insert yourself in those scenarios too.
Yeah.
Of like, what would you do if you like put it like if you could erase a bad relationship, like would you, like stuff like that, rather than like, okay, if you were on the USS Enterprise, like what, like I think
yeah, that's true.
Exactly. And then I think I have one more question, and then we can end this podcast.
Perfect.
Which is, what are your recommendations for sci-fi anime or sci-fi television movies in general?
Space Dandy. Sorry, I mean to interrupt you. I get really excited.
Fine. What was it, Mana?
Space Dandy.
What's that about?
It's a big one.
Space Dandy is it's a space cowboy anime where they're kind of like little bounty hunters, and they go out and they capture people in different, but it's like super colorful and very like animated, and I just love Space Dandy. He's so cool. He's a cool guy. If you take Spike and then like make his hair longer going forward, kind of like Japanese Yakuza stuff, and then give him like a bright jacket with stars on it and like a sidekick animal that talks and stuff. So cool.
That sounds fun.
Space Dandy's very fun. It's a very fun anime. But also has like a very disorientating effect, kind of like Fully Cooley, kind of like feverish, hyper fever type dream stuff.
That's cool though. I like that.
Oh, also Silent Mobius. Silent Mobius is good. It's an older one though, but about this girl Katsumi Liqueur, and she's got this like it's like a girl power show as well. Almost like a squad of detective girls who all have like these different like power like things about them, and they're all surrounded by these like mega type enemies, and I don't know, it's weird. It's like to be placed more in the future with like the big chunkier type things, futuristic look, but it's not, but it is. So Silent Mobius is good too. There's more in my brain, but I can't think of any right now, so I'll let someone else.
Okay, I'll go because I have like 5. I'll be quick though. One, as me and Shelby were saying, Erased is really good. It's only 12 episodes. It deals a lot with time travel, and it does it in a way that's really easy to understand. Mana, you can go if you just thought I saw your face. It looks like you remembered one.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Psychopaths. I don't know if anyone's seen it. So good. So basically, it's gotten to a point where you can read someone's psychopath, so there's psycho levels, and if you're too high, like unstable, you get sent to like the whatever mental house place. But if you do bad things, your psychopath goes up. And it's basically these like detectives who work around this whole like mystery of like this like murders and stuff, and like they scan psychopaths and the guns, like they can't shoot them anymore. There's this all-knowing element that rules all of society, so it's almost utopia type, and the all-ruling society like runs the guns, and only the guns can shoot people, because like if your psychopath hits past a certain level, then the gun will activate, and if it's below that, then it doesn't.
Yeah,
but it's wild.
That was on my Crunchyroll list, and I never watched it, so I'll have to watch it.
That reminds me of the movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise. Has anyone seen that?
I have not. I don't like Tom Cruise.
So, yeah. I watched it during quarantine when I was watching videos with my friends over like Netflix party or whatever. Blackout Netflix, they haven't started doing this. Anyway, it's like it's almost exactly that, except they have this technology where they can see someone like committing a murder, and so they can arrest them preemptively before the murder. And so that kind of reminds me of that. So interesting.
Wait, what was it called?
Minority Report.
Okay, yeah, I think I have seen that one with like the people that can see into the future that are in the water. Yeah. Okay.
It reminds me of that. I just wanted to say that. Go ahead.
No, you guys are fine. I just know how that is. Like when you think of something and you're afraid you're forgetting, it's like, oh, like I feel that on a spiritual level. So yeah, Erased, very, very good. Just because it is sci-fi, but it's not like this super high level of like, I don't know what's going on sci-fi, and it's very like easy to understand, and the story is just really, really sweet. And so definitely recommend that. Orange is one of my favorites. I've read the manga and I started the anime, but I never finished it. It's essentially, it has to do with like slightly time travel, also parallel universes, and it's like slice of life. And so Mana, you'd actually really like it because there's a really big romance element to it. Whereas essentially the protagonist gets a letter from herself from the future detailing the events of how she has to stop one of their friends from committing suicide.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
It's like, and so she like, cause she writes in her journal every day. And so she like sends her letters like daily from the future of like, okay, like on this day, he's going to do this. Like you need to invite him to come with you instead of going home by himself or like whatever. And so it's to like, and it's so sweet and it's really sad, but also really happy at the same time. Cause it doesn't have a sad ending. I'll say that, but it's just very like, it deals with like emotional trauma and like mental health in a really like real way. And so, but it's so good and I loved it. And I binge read these like giant manga in like a weekend and it was amazing. So I highly recommend that. And then my like really, really, really sci-fi one that Mana would hate because the whole color scheme is just like gray it's called Agent Demi-Human. And it's on Netflix actually. And the animation's kind of wonky because it was one of the
I know what you're talking about. I tried to watch it, I couldn't get through it because the animation was weird.
Yeah, it was one of the first like CG anime. So it kind of looks like it's just a long cutscene from a video game. And so if you don't like that, read the manga because there's also a manga. But essentially what happens is they found this thing in society, as you do in sci-fi anime, that there's this subset of people called Asian that have these like crazy, maybe it is. I don't know. I could be pronouncing it wrong. It's either Asian or Aigen, one of those two. But anyway, and they have these crazy like regenerative powers, and it kind of looks like it's like a like mummy Slender Man that's behind you. Like literally, it's like this black like thing.
It's very scary. It's scary. I'm not gonna lie.
It's kind of scary looking, but it only activates when you get in like a near-death experience. And our protagonist gets in a near-death experience and he like doesn't die. Like he gets hit by a car and it like absolutely would have killed him because it was like this big truck and it was going really fast and he would have gotten like completely blasted by this car. And he gets up and he's fine. And so all the people are like, oh no, like he's an agent, you know? And so they kind of get like exiled from society. And then like the government is trying to capture you because they want to like experiment on like, why is this happening? Like, you know, and so they want to like take him. And so he's like on the run, like trying to get away from these people. And it's like the agent can fight each other. And so like the people who have the agent can see it happening. And so it's really interesting. And cool. It is kind of like, you got to pay attention because you're like, okay, this is like what's happening, you know, because it's just a lot of information, but they do explain it like at a pace that you're like, okay, I understand what's going on now. And there's a lot of like really good plot twists. And so check it out. Also, Never Let Me Go, which is just a movie and a book. And it has Andrew Garfield in it, who I think is very handsome. So that might be why.
Garfield.
That might be why I like it a lot. But it's essentially, the plot of the island where it's like people they're clones and they harvest their organs for the actual humans.
Oh, God.
And it deals with like the psychological element of knowing you're a clone and knowing that you're going to die, like for the sake of another person and interpersonal relationships. And so it's very, very good. And if you're not watching Mandalorian, that's sci-fi and it's really good and really cute. So
Baby Yoda,
whose name is not Baby Yoda, and I can't remember what it is. He just revealed.
Why would it not be? That's weird.
He's like, it starts with a G, I think. Hold on. Well, yeah, because everyone was like, because like obviously it's not Baby Yoda because it's not Yoda, but
Child.
Grogu, that's his name.
Grogu, that sounds like Goku.
That's what I thought. They said Goku at first, and I was like, hold on. But I was like, no, okay.
Right.
Grogu, okay. Sorry, I talked for way too long. Someone else talk.
What about you, Annie?
I'd say Macross Frontier is pretty sci-fi and good. It's got like mechas and girls who can use the power of their singing voice to defeat the aliens, and so it's got really good music, but it's also got like mecha airplanes and
interesting.
Macross Frontier. It's not like super psychological, but it's like it's got some aliens.
That's fair.
Listen, sometimes that's all your brain needs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just want some good music and some aliens. Like
those two together. Darling in the Franxx is also a good one.
That's the one we were trying to think of the name of it. Do you remember that when we
Yes,
were
I remember that with the yes. Yes, it's Darling in the Franxx. We were
sitting there for like 20 minutes like, what is that called?
Yeah.
And then I remember because I think I Googled, I was like, really
you did, you looked it up.
Like really popular mecha anime, and I was like, Darling in the Franxx, and you were like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was, yes, Darling in the Franxx is so good. bittersweet ending, but also very moving and touching interpersonal relationship type stuff. Yeah, it's good. You should watch it. It's got like pilots where like people have to run these machines to battle these like the enemy of like human race, and like it takes two people, and it's always like a boy and a girl because you have to have both chromosomes to power these machines and all this cool stuff. But yeah, that's cool. Also, Scientific No Railgun is good.
Oh yeah, that was.
It's weird,
That's
but it's
the
like
one
school
that,
themed.
You sounded like you were like, oh yeah, that's good, and you just go, oh yeah, that's.
Wait, that's the one. What am I missing? Am I forgetting?
No, from the one podcast that we were talking about weird shit.
I don't
The
remember
cringe
weird-
one?
I don't remember anything.
You know what? If
anything
you
weird
don't
going
remember
on.
it, that's probably for the best.
Okay. I'm missing. Now I want to know. Yeah, you gotta tell me.
Go back and watch
I'll tell
it.
you later.
Oh my gosh. Okay, fine. Tell me when we're not on.
Or
record.
viewers, go back and find it and timestamp
No,
it in the
please
comments. I'll instigate chaos.
Is it like weird? Is it weird? Is it like on the weird level of like Boku no Pico stuff? Is it on
Yeah.
that level of weird?
the
Oh,
amount
no.
of times when I'm brushing my teeth and I think of that stupid toothbrush scene, I am mad at you forever because of that.
Oh man. I never thought teeth brushing be a kink, but nah, it's totally a thing. Honestly, that could be.
And it
something.
would
She
like
was so
listen,
uncomfortable.
I'm not here to kink shame anybody, but it was brother and sister, and that's
Yeah,
that's
No,
not
That's a
mm-mm.
no-go.
It's a
It's not kosher with
no-go.
me.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I've run into too many people in my lifetime that are like, and I'm like, no. You stay behind your line. I'll stay behind mine. Oh,
6
seems
feet,
wild.
please.
6 feet. Thank you. Social distancing. But yeah, that's all I got. Probably not, but yeah.
All right. Well, I'll give my Rex and then we can sign off. Obviously, Erase and Cowboy Bebop, very cool
Yes.
ones. Especially Erase. Please watch Erase. I think it's very good.
So good.
I
It
don't
Did not get
hear about
enough
it a lot.
recognition. Like
So I think it's very underrated. Make it not underrated. Okay, and then for live action type of stuff, Stranger Things. Love that show. My
Ooh,
favorite
that's a
ever.
good one.
Interstellar is a very good one. It's also by Christopher Nolan. Space travel and all how that messes time up and everything. It's so cool. And then I also recommend Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. Just watch that for the first time.
so
And it impacted me a lot. So those are my recs. Watch them. Let me know if you have watched them in the comments. Recommend me some other sci-fi. I love sci-fi, so I'll probably
Sci-fi.
watch that. But again, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, do all the things so we get more views and we can make more content.
join our Patreon, please.
Yeah. If you like to see us talk about stuff, if you want to see us do more stuff, you want to see us get even wilder, even bigger ideas, you want us to go bigger.
We're not promising wilder.
Oh, it's gonna get wild. It's
we'll
gonna get wild.
We'll promise more content, but
It's gonna get wild. Prepare
oh,
yourself.
oh, I thought, okay, I have like 5 things I just thought of that I remembered I need to tell you guys. One, I had a friend in all earnesty call it Sci-Fi. Just for the record.
God.
And I was like,
That's funny.
okay. And anyway, I had a Patreon idea. So commenters, let me know what you think of this, of something that could be a Patreon exclusive. What if we did like an anime Never Have I Ever? Like something where it's like, I don't know, like those games exist, you know, where it's like Never Have I Ever, but for like pop culture and like anime and stuff, because I think that would be really fun to
Cute.
shame all of us.
Yes, that
Yep.
sounds good. I don't have
Yeah.
lots of secrets or shame. But we could go for it.
And Annie, what are we doing next time for the podcast?
I don't know, Danielle. What are we?
What's the thing you've been working on for so long?
Sorry, I didn't laugh that loud. That was just a hit.
Wait, what? Is this the last one
Yes.
of this year?
Yes. So happy New Year, even though it's not New Year right now. For us, it'll be New Year, like about New Year's for you guys. I think this will go up on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day.
I didn't know this was the last one.
Yeah. I didn't know it was the last one either. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm like,
oh my
whoa.
God. I thought it was like my turn next, and I was like,
yeah, I was like,
well, like in a spiritual sense, it is,
okay.
and it'll be your turn for a while.
Yes, it will.
So what are we doing, Annie?
Hopefully next year we're going to be playing Waifu Wash Goes to Wildmount, Dungeons and Dragons game. So
I sent in my background thing. I sent you the picture of my character, and then you were like, "That's a cool picture, but can you fill out the background?" And I was like, "I thought I did. Did it not do the thing?"
I didn't see any document or anything.
Yeah, you gotta like type up a.
I did. I typed up a whole background story, and I filled out all the details for the character on the thing. Or else I would not have sent you a picture of my character without filling out the thing after you told me to fill out the thing. That would have been like a total
It said sorry it took so long, but character details is done. Looky. And then there's the picture, and then there's nothing else.
It's in the D&D thing. I thought, isn't that where I'm supposed to fill it out? Is inside the D&D thing, or was I supposed to personally send it to you?
Oh, you put it in D&D Beyond?
So I'm going to say bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, bye.